Congregation, please be seated and open your prayer guides to the book of Revelations, Psalm 69.
Okay, that was the beginning of another very cool ministry song. They're classic. They got tons of that. But anyway, today's show, or the beginning of a three-part series, which you'll hear the other two after this, is my little trip to San Antonio. And this is Exit 50. My name is Andrew. And I went down to San Antonio on Friday after going to visit clients, like I mentioned earlier. And I'm, Euro trashed out. I got my jeans on, and I've got my little Marantz. I find my parking stall. I'm like, I'm going to the Four Seasons. That's where everybody is. So like a goof, I got my little bag, and I'm going to go, interview people. So there I was, sitting at the bar. I'm like, I'd like to order a martini. I'd like to add something. Anyway, so I'm ordering a Coke, but you'll hear about all this. And it's a lot harder. I've got two really nice microphones. I got this Marantz, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to set this up. And it's pretty funny. And then Tommy Lee walks in. I said, you know what, I got to get working. Otherwise, this trip was for naught. So, goofball that I am, I was interviewing people. I didn't know that this is probably not the coolest thing to do in a Four Seasons hotel. But then again, no one told me that I couldn't. So let me cue up this interview. This is Tommy Lee. This is when I first busted out the microphone, and Tommy Lee's at the thing. Here, listen to this.
Okay. Live at the South by Southwest, and Tommy Lee just came to the bar, and I asked him for an interview. And the big goon at the bar said, no way, man. Can't do it. He's getting ready to play a gig. He said maybe later. So, I don't know if that's ever going to happen. There's all kinds of cool stuff going on here. I just spent $3.75 on a Coke. Still cheaper than Manhattan, but nevertheless, got to pace myself. Can't drink too much. So I'm going to tie all these interviews together, and maybe I'll get somebody to do a double interview. But there's a lot of people down here doing all kinds of networking amongst themselves. A lot of people looking like rock stars. A lot of people looking like managers of rock stars. Oh, somebody's busting out the gold card. Got to do that here at the Four Seasons.
Okay, so I'm getting on my gumption. Then there's two people like, who are you working for? And I'm like, I'm working for Exit 50. I have my own online radio show. And they're like, oh, really? They were pretty impressed. But they're going to send me some music on this guy, Amos Lee. They work for EMI. But they got some pretty good take on the podcasting thing here. Let me cue this up and play it.
I have two people that want to do an interview, and they work for various companies here, and they're down in Austin. And we were talking about, he said, pass the mic like...
Mike D.
And who's Mike D?
Beastie Boys.
That's right, because you're old school. What's your name?
Georgette.
Georgette and Dan.
And Dan.
Okay, and what we were talking about was podcasting a little bit earlier. You've known about this for how long?
About 3 weeks now.
What do you think of it so far?
I think it's the new technology. I think it's the next level of convenience, the next level of digital transfer, the next level of easy accessibility, if you will.
I love it. Now, what do you do? What are you doing in Austin for the South by Southwest Festival? What are you doing here?
Losing my mind, pretty much.
Okay. Have you seen any good bands?
Yeah. We saw Ed Harcourt this afternoon, and we went over to see a band called Phoenix from France. The lead singer, I think, has bronchitis. So we saw a little bit of a band called The Chips, which I think are close to getting a deal with somebody or other. And we saw Amos Lee today at a Starbucks here music stage.
Yeah, you were telling me about Amos Lee. He's like the hottest thing. What can you? He's from Philly, did you say?
Philly. A boy from Philly. His whole band's from Philly. Although he went to the University of South Carolina.
From Philadelphia. Now he sounds like he plays like country music or something.
He's great. He's the next big thing. Remember the name Amos Lee.
Amos Lee. Do you concur? Do you like Amos Lee?
Yeah, Amos is one of those rare special talents that only comes along so often.
Now, what label is he on?
It's on Blue Note Records.
Is that one of the records that the labels that you represent? Right?
She's saying yes.
Oh,
She concurs.
She concurs. Okay. Now tell me about your trip to Austin. How many times have you been down here?
7 South Bys.
Really? You've come every year. And is this any different than any of the other ones that you get there, or is it getting bigger every year?
This one's getting bigger. There was a couple of years, like past 3 or 4 years, it's kind of slow and waned. I think the industry is like taking a break from Austin. This year it seems to be back and like full. Seems to be there's a lot of industry down here this year. And then on the flip side, there's a ton of fans down here because the wristband lines are huge. And the badge lines, go pretty quick, and then the venues are about half full with badges, which is the industry. And then the bands and the true fans who buy the wristbands that were early enough at this year because they cut it off because they didn't want to get it too big. Those are waiting in line for all the good shows.
Sounds like a sign of the times. So tell me what's coming up. Anything good, anything exciting other than music that you're doing right now?
What's coming up?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Oh, Al Green's coming up.
You got a phone call. Well, thanks for your time.
All right, so I sound like a total dumbass when I'm talking to these people because obviously they're in the record business and I don't really know the right. But nobody ever told me. Nobody ever said you had to be cool when you came to these things. Maybe it's the perfect mix. But I hate to tell them. I wanted to say, hey, listen, maybe the economy's working out pretty good. That's why there's more people here. A la Bush, George Bush. But then again, I was in Austin, and I was at a red state. I actually agreed with the one lady. We had talked on the side about the legislation to kind of curb, who knows. It was a Republican she was bitching about. I guess I kind of agreed with her. I can't even remember what we were talking about. So, anyway, I'm sitting there. I'm talking, blah, blah, blah. And there's these 4 girls, I guess, looking to, who knows what they were doing. But I explained to the podcast thing, and they're talking a little bit lascivious. And you'll hear that in just a second. Let me play that up. Here we go.
Okay, we're recording now. I got something I want to ask you. What's your name?
My name's Tasha.
Tasha, this is a podcast, and I think I explained to you what podcasting was earlier, right? You remember?
I remember.
Give it back to what
Okay, podcasting is when you can take this conversation that we're having, and you can, in layman's terms, stream it to an iPod.
Okay, you got it. Now, you were telling me a funny story. You went to a party last night, right?
It was 2 years ago.
Oh, it was 2 years ago.
This guy went to the party last night.
Okay, now the Sugar Hill Gang.
They did, and they opened with In the Club, 50 Cent,
that's not their song.
No, it's 50 Cent.
Okay.
They opened with it.
And what were you doing? You were going to the bathroom, right?
Oh, yeah. I was going to the bathroom, and I was in line, and these chicks thought it was the 80s, and they came out with blow all over their face and lines of Coke on mirrors in the bathroom.
Oh, my God.
And I said, chicks, it's not the 80s any longer.
Okay, so tell me what you've...
Thanks for sharing.
Tell me what you've been doing up to this point on your weekend. This is like a girls' weekend out.
It's a girls' weekend. We went to some party last night where we received free iPod-type devices by Dell. Oh, I kissed Joni to get a man away from her.
Oh, you did a French kiss?
Kissed her.
Really?
And we went to this party, and I thought I was a break dancer, and I was trying to show off to Carson Daly because I thought I was going to be on MTV.
But Carson, tell me about... He doesn't have any hair, though.
Dude, he was wearing a baseball cap.
Oh, that's nice.
I don't know if he has plugs or not, but he was DJing, and Joni pulled my skirt off. She whipped my skirt up, and I was wearing a Hindu blanket over my head.
Really?
Because I was cold. And...
Is that the first time you ever kissed a girl?
No.
Really?
I've kissed Elle.
Really?
Don't tell. It's a secret. We all kissed on New Year's Eve because all of us girls were alone single.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Trista and Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Don't lie.
Junior BJ. Junior bachelorette.
That's cool. So you're having fun?
We're having a great time.
Okay.
But I don't think I'm going to be on MTV, and I think Carson Daly thinks I have a big ass, and
Let me see.
and then I'm not a very good break dancer.
Let me be the judge of that.
About when you kissed me, because remember what I said to you? Remember what I said to you when I kissed you?
Happy New Year's?
No, I said something like, "Are you kidding me? Is that it?"
Oh, yeah. She wanted a proper kiss because I just gave her a normal mommy
a proper
kiss.
kiss, please.
She wanted a proper kiss.
For New Year's Eve. I mean, if we're together for New Year's Eve,
She wanted...
I want a tongue.
Really?
I'm Scorpio.
Scorpio's like tongue, huh? I didn't know that.
We like anything sexual. Anything.
And we hope Trisha never hears this broadcast.
Who's...
Give me a nice firm corner of the table.
Oh, my goodness.
I like you. You're Australian. You got a good way of putting it. You're going to be my first Australian on my podcast. Well, how's that feel?
She's an Aussie.
What was the question?
Nothing. Okay. So that's what we're doing. We're just hanging out here
So
at the...
we're going to go get our burgers, and Kristen already left, so we got to drink up so we can go meet her.
for burgers.
Huts. Huts has great burgers.
Okay, Huts it is then.
And Kirby Lane.
Yeah.
Kirby Lane. Katz's.
Okay, after that little soiree with those four babes, it reminded me of a song. I had to find a song that might go with that. It's from this guy that I used to hang out with out in Hawaii, and he had a band called the Tantra Monsters, and his song's called What About Wine, Women, and Song. And he had this cool microphone, and I totally understand it now because I've been looking at microphones, but this song he mixed is kind of cool. I don't even know where he is now. I hope he's still around. I hope he's still playing music. But this is from back in the day. It's the Tantra Monsters. Okay, let's go. Yeah, so what about wine, women, and song? Use your mind or it's going to turn to hay. Hey, 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 hey. I love this song. I wonder where he is. This guy had Bono glasses before Bono had Bono glasses. He's a very cool dude, man. Like, I don't know where he went. He's at the CD Cafe in Honolulu. Well, that's it for today, folks. That's Exit 50. My name's Andrew. I'm going to get some other songs. This should put us right at 15 minutes for the show. Cool. Peace out. Listen to the other ones.